Women and children separate grain from soil, after the driver of a truck lost control of a vehicle which spilled grain, in the forest in Machinga, about 200 kilometers northeast of Blantyre, Malawi, Tuesday, May 24, 2016. Hundreds of villagers thronged the spot and helped themselves to some of the grain. About 2.8 million Malawians, nearly 20% of the population, face food insecurity, making the country one of the worst hit in southern Africa. App photo, Svanjari Mukwaji. The international community has donated more than $1.8 trillion to poor countries since 2000, but this development aid hasn't lifted many people out of poverty. Arguably, it has made some recipient nations poorer. This is because despite the best of intentions by donors, the aid has bred corruption, fostered dependence and impeded reforms that deliver sustainable economic growth. Ending global poverty will require a major shift away from paternalistic, give a man a fish, strategies that presume the poor are helpless on their own. Instead, philanthropists should support civic society groups that help local governments strengthen the rule of law, enforce property rights and cut burdensome regulations. Clearing away obstacles to entrepreneurship and investment will enable the poor to help themselves. They'll figure out not just how to fish, but how to create fisheries and other private enterprises that benefit the communities. Without such reforms, there will be no sustainable economic growth, resulting in enormous amounts of foreign aid largesse being wasted. Between 1970 and 2000, a period in which aid to Africa skyrocketed, annual gross domestic product growth per capita on the continent fell from about 2% to zero growth, according to a study by an economist at New York University. Consider what happened recently in Malawi, a southeastern African country where more than half the population lives in poverty. In 2013, political leaders and other elites stole $30 million from the treasury, which was loaded with contributions from Western nations. And in 2012, the United Kingdom suspended $18 million in aid to Uganda after an investigation revealed that leaders of that African nation were using the money improperly. Even when there is no corruption, anti-poverty initiatives often produce unintended negative consequences. For example, the Millennium Villages Project sent large amounts of food and other assistance to Datu in Kenya. The aid drew migrants from all over the region, resulting in overcrowding, social conflict and a breakdown of the village's livestock market.